Alrighty, so the meeting has begun. Again, this is the webinar on the newest OneDrive capabilities. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions in the meantime or things that come up, please throw them in the chat and we will get to all of them. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. Alrighty. So let's get started with the File Explorer version. I'm going to actually show you a bunch of different versions of OneDrive where you can see them and all the new changes. So I'm going to start with the File Explorer because I feel that most people are familiar with that in accessing their OneDrive or any of their files in general. And then I'm going to also pop into the web version and the version that lives on Microsoft Teams. So the File Explorer version now looks like this. It has come down with some great updates. So first thing is when you open the File Explorer, you're going to see, and again, this doesn't necessarily match up with OneDrive per se, but the File Explorer is your house for all file storage. So I really wanted to just go through a couple of new features here as well. Sorry, I'm also admitting people at the same time. So your home screen is going to always be your most recent files or your recommended files across the top. And you'll also see your favorited files right here. Okay, thanks, Cliff. So you can easily access files that you are always working on a day-to-day basis across the top. And if you favorite any files, they'll live here for you on your home page in the File Explorer. A lot of people don't know about this little gallery area that is a new update. But if you click on that gallery area, any screenshots that you have taken will live in that gallery area. Sometimes people are like, where do my screenshots go? How do I find them if I need them again? Well, they live in the gallery area. So that is a great feature that they put out here on the new File Explorer. And then under that, you should see your OneDrive. So here I have my OneDrive with all of my files, and they all look the same as they would on the web version or on the version that lives in Teams. Some great features here while we're in here. Again, sorry, I'm just working two different screens here. So some great features here that you may not know. If you want to start a new file in your OneDrive, you can do that in your File Explorer just by right-clicking. Once you're clicked into your OneDrive, you could just right-click in any of that blank space and then go to New, and you can start any file right here directly in your OneDrive through File Explorer. You can also click the New button here on the top left and click that new file that you'd like to start or that new folder you'd like to create. You could do that right here in your File Explorer. What's really great, and I do recommend this a lot to people, that if you do have a organizational system going in your OneDrive, you may want to start the file directly in the folder that you would want it to be saved in, so you don't have to move it afterwards. So for example, if I want to create a new file that would live in this folder, if I click into that folder and then go to New, and then create that document, it'll automatically live in that file, right? So you don't have to move it around afterwards. So that's something that I always like to show people because that's super helpful when it comes to organization and for finding the files that you need to find. The other thing is keep in mind that your search bar up here on the top of your File Explorer and in any of the OneDrive areas is super strong. So you could just start typing the name of the file, even if you don't know the full name, you only know parts of it, just start typing what you think, and every single file that lives on your computer and in your OneDrive that has those letters or those words in it will start to filter out for you here. And you can even drill down and sort further with all of the options here. You also have some different view options at the top. So check those out. Sometimes people like the list view, but there are other options for you to see. I actually do like the large icon view. It makes it a little bit easier to see. So you can set that for each area in your File Explorer, however you would like it. The other great thing is that you can have two tabs open for your File Explorer, similar to opening different browser tabs. So if you see now at the top, I can click this plus sign, and now I have two different pages open of my File Explorer and potentially my OneDrive, right? So if I have two screens, I can drag this tab out and put it on another screen. And that can easily allow me to drop and drag files from one folder to another, from one area to another. It really, really allows for ease of organization and movement amongst files. So that's another great thing I like to show everyone. Moving right along, streamlining has also, sharing has also been streamlined in in OneDrive across the board, whether you're in File Explorer, web, or on the app. Sorry, just lost my train of thought. This is what happens when I'm working on a different computer than I'm used to working on. So sharing is streamlined, but I'm going to show you sharing when we get to the web version because I want you to see how it looks there as well. But I'm also going to show it to you here. So if I need to share this file, I could right click on that file and go to share. And now the share box is really streamlined. So right away, I know at the bottom here who I already gave access to for this file. And I can easily share to a name, a group, or an email by just typing that person's name, choosing them, and giving them the correct permissions here. And then you have two options. One, you can type a message and click send, and it'll email that person directly. Or you could just copy the link after you've added the specified people that you want to have given access to this. And then you could just click copy link and paste that link wherever you need to, in a Teams, in chat, or in a team, wherever you would need to. So the sharing has been streamlined. You'll see the same box for sharing, whether we're in File Explorer or OneDrive on the web. Okay, quick access, really quick here. You have quick access down here, meaning anything that you pin. So if I right click on any folder and then do pin to quick access, it's going to move those files or folders into the specific area. So if you need to kind of pull certain files, certain folders out and make them easy to find, you can pin them to quick access. All right, let us pop into, sorry, got to open up the next thing. Okay. Pop into the web version. So here's the web version of OneDrive. You get here by going to portal.office.com and then clicking on the waffle and then clicking on OneDrive. So this is your web version of OneDrive. They are all synced and they are the same as the OneDrive that you see here in your File Explorer. So if you add or change or move documents here, you will see those same documents here. Some of the new features that have rolled out here on the web version. First and foremost, I can click Add New up at the top here. And again, I can create new files, new folders directly in my OneDrive or directly in a folder, a specific folder in my OneDrive. The search feature up at the top, super strong. I can filter down my recents because right now I'm clicked onto my home page, right? So I can filter down for my recents based off file type. Or I can even come over here and filter down by a person that I'm collaborating on a file with. So that's kind of what you see on your homepage. Your files, if I click my files here on the left-hand side, now I could see all the folders and files that I've created along the way. And again, if I click into a specific folder and then click Add New, that new document will now directly be saved in that specific file area, in that specific folder automatically for you. You don't have to move it afterwards. So that's a nice feature too. And the other thing I want to show you is if I do click Add New and then go to Word document, for example. Oh, did it not do it on this one? No, it did not. Sorry, I have the share box in the way. Give me 1 second. Probably because I'm in the Seed Academy account. So let me just pop over to my account real quick. Go to OneDrive. Just want to show you. So in my OneDrive here, if I go to Add New, and then go to Word document. Oh, it's not happening today. All right, so we're going to scratch that. Normally, what's supposed to happen is when you go to add new and then you click a specific type of document, file type, it actually brings up templates. Um, Microsoft is always doing some crazy updates and, makes a liar out of me. So normally I would suggest that you play with that because the template option is really great. It almost pulls in the Microsoft Designer and it gives you all these great templates for different file types that'll get you started on the file format already set up for you. So definitely play around with that. I apologize that for some reason it's not showing up today because it should. Okay, what else? So, the shared area. This is great. If I click on shared on the left-hand side here, I can filter down by files that were shared with me. And again, I can even go deeper and file by file type. So if I'd want to find all of the Excel files that were shared to me, I would do that. Click on the Excel. If I want to find all the folders that maybe were shared to me or all the PDFs, I could just easily filter that down. Then you also get the by you. So any folders or files that you have shared out from your OneDrive all will live in this by you section. These are great because these don't live in File Explorer. So this is a nice way for you to be able to really drill down and see your shared files and folders. Here are your favorites. So if you have clicked the star next to any file or folder, so automatically like that, and then I go to favorites, those files or folders will live in that area. Not, some people love that. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I do think it's something I like to show people. I think your recycle bin is pretty obvious, so I'm not going through that. But this is the next big section that is new and is great. So you can now browse files by people. So any files that you have shared with other people or have been shared with you now live in this type of view, which is, I think, super helpful. And if you're always sharing files back and forth with one or two people, you can actually pin those people to the top. So they'll always live here. And then all of your files that are shared across between the two of you will always live here. And then you could just click see all to find your files. So this I love. This is a great feature. The next one is meetings. This is another big one. All of your team's meetings live here, and all of the potential files that were shared in those teams meetings live here as well. So sometimes after you close out a teams meeting, you may not know exactly where to find those files that were shared. Maybe it was a meeting 3 months ago and you can't find it in your Teams app in the chat section. This is another great way to find all of the files that were shared during a Teams meeting. And the last thing is this media option. So again, this is similar to that gallery. So any photos that you have taken, screenshots, all of that stuff will live in the media section. And under that is your quick access. This will give you quick access to any Teams that you are a part of and the files that are in there. So again, if I click the Nassau BOCES Seed Academy, these are all the site assets, aka the document library that lives in that team. So I don't have to go to that team to find those files. I can actually find them right here. And you can pin. So if you are always in the files in a certain team and you want that team to live here all the time, just hover over that pin and click it. So this way that team will always be right there for you. Don't think I'm seeing any questions coming in the chat, but I'm also not sure if that is muted at the moment. So I will pop over to that and check it out in a second. Okay, so we talked about filter options. Let's go back to that. So you can filter. If you go to the search bar up here and just, again, start typing anything, it'll automatically start to filter for you. But then it gives you this option here. It's a little extra that you can drill down and filter even more. So that's a nice feature. And that search bar lives in all the Microsoft apps, and they are very strong search bars. So I do suggest you use those. It's super helpful. And again, here you can filter by name or person. Okay, I'm just looking and making sure that I'm getting all of the top points. The other search bar, to be honest, although this is not OneDrive, but I do kind of want to mention it because it goes along with the theme of searching. But another search bar that a lot of people don't utilize to its fullest potential is the search bar on the bottom of your computer. This search bar searches your entire profile, everything on your computer, everything in your OneDrive. It also searches the web. And so if you start to type, if you're looking for a file that you cannot find, you can just start typing the name of that file. And as you can see, everything across my computer, including web search, will show up here for you. And then you can find that file easily. You can even drill down by clicking on these filters up at the top. But this search bar at the bottom of your screen is a super strong feature that I highly recommend everyone get used to using instead of spending so much time searching and searching. If you just start using that search box down at the bottom, it's going to help you find things a lot faster, including any settings that you may need to change on your devices. You can find that very easily, excuse me. So definitely check that out. I think I went through my list and it's perfect timing because there's 10 minutes left. So I am going to stop sharing for a second. Give me 1 second to change the settings and give you the option to unmute and turn cameras on if you'd like. All right, so you do have the option at this point to unmute or turn your cameras on if you'd like. I don't, okay, there is a question in the chat. Excellent. So let's start with that. And then let me know if anybody else has questions or something else you'd like me to, go back over and show you again. I could do that as well. Oh, before I take that question in the chat, real quick, I did not show you the OneDrive in Teams. So if you're in the Teams app, they now merged the OneDrive on the web with the OneDrive in Teams. So they look identical, which is right? Makes sense. That should. Um, so now you can see I'm in Teams. And if I click the OneDrive app, which used to be called Files, now it's called OneDrive. Again, makes sense. It looks identical to the web version. So super easy to find files, even when you're just living in Teams. Okay, sorry, just wanted to show you that. Can you add a shared document to a folder? If so, will all updates be carried over? How do you make? Yes, I turned my screen sharing off, Cliff, because I was just doing Q&As. Can you add a shared document to a folder? If so, oh, for the Teams. Got it. Thank you. One more time, people. Sorry about that. All right. So what I said before without sharing my screen was, hold on a second, going back. Your OneDrive in Teams used to be called Files. It now is called OneDrive. You'll see it here on the left-hand side, and it looks identical to your OneDrive on the web. So if you're in Teams and you need to find a file on your OneDrive, you don't have to come out of Teams to find it. You can just go to the OneDrive icon in Teams to find that file. Thanks. Sorry about that. Okay, back to the question. Can you add a shared document to a folder? If so, will all updates be carried over? How do you make a folder in quick access? Okay, so let's do the first question, Mary. So adding a shared document to a folder. So that's so the shared document depends. Where does it live? Let's start there. Um, it depends because normally what happens, and I'll use the example of taking a file from, for example, your OneDrive and maybe moving it into a team file storage area. Normally what happens is essentially it makes a copy. So everything that that file holds in your OneDrive, all the permissions and the way it's set, stays that way in your OneDrive. But when you move that file over to Teams, it now essentially makes a copy. So it's kind of like you have to set everything back up again because that's now a new copy of that file. So it kind of depends. When you say updates, you're meaning like if people live edit the file, correct? Okay. Um, It depends, I want to say, Cliff. Oh, you don't have a mic, I don't think, right?
Yes, yes. I'm
I
sorry. It's
no,
me.
no, no, no worries, no worries.
Yeah. So yeah, a shared document, if I do updates or somebody I shared it with does updates, if I move it into a folder, the updates are not going to carry over, right?
So it depends. Like if the file lives in your OneDrive and then you create a folder in your OneDrive and you just move it into that folder, it will carry the permissions.
Okay.
You're not taking it out of your OneDrive. You're just organizing your OneDrive. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, so
Yeah, no.
that's what we want.
Mhm.
We don't want to always just go to the shared folder to pull up that document for the changes. Like, so then I was thinking I could make a folder in the quick access for our team and it'll anybody
So,
who
so again,
get,
that's a little bit different. That's why I'm like, I need a little more context. So if the folder or the file lives in Teams already, you're going to then just want to add a shortcut to your OneDrive in order to access those files that you can just edit that way. So let me show you what I mean. Pull that up. Let's go back to Teams real quick. And let's go into Teams and Teams. Actually, let me go into this one. So if I go into the files area here in a team, right?
yeah,
And now, for example, if I don't think I have a folder in here, but what I may have to hold on one second. Uh, trying to see if I want to see an actual folder. I don't know if I have any in here, so I may have to go into my other team. 1 second. Okay. So if I want to share, so for example, this folder, do you see this option up at the top that says add shortcut to OneDrive?
yes.
That's what you would want to do. So now you would see this folder titled whatever it's titled. Now you'd see that living in your OneDrive.
Okay, got it.
Once it lives in your OneDrive or your File Explorer, which is all in the same, right? Then you can right click on it and go pin to quick access. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you need me to, schedule like a one-on-one, we can do that together and I can help you through
Okay.
that.
All right, I got it.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you.
And then you're welcome. No problem, Brittany. If I wanted to put a link in my email for districts to securely upload files do I just click request files? Yes, correct, Brittany. Yep. And I have a video on my website on the Seed Academy part where all my resources are housed. I do have a video, so I can throw that link for you in the chat if you want just like a quick video tutorial of that. But I think you probably got it. But I'm going to
Thank you,
throw that
Vicky.
in there. Of course. I'm just going to throw that in there for you too. Anyway, just in case. Let me just grab that. It lives actually under the best practices section. And I want to just grab that for you. Okay, here it is and share. Copy. All right, I'll throw that in the chat. Any other questions? Really, I thought I'd have so many more questions about the new OneDrive stuff. Again, there's just multiple places that you can access your files and your folders and your OneDrive in particular. So just go with what works best for you. But try to make it so that you're kind of accessing everything in one area so you're not bouncing around too much. That makes it a lot easier too. File Explorer makes the most sense because that's where everything lives. And you can just organize along the way that way. But the functionality that you get in the OneDrive on the web is just so much more than you see in your OneDrive on the File Explorer. So that's why I always like to tell people to check out both spots. You also can always click on the OneDrive cloud icon on the bottom of your computer screen. Let me show you that. So on the bottom right-hand side of your computer screen, you should always see that blue cloud there. That's your OneDrive, right? If you don't see it, it would live in the caret. So you would just click that caret and you would see the little blue cloud. And if I click that, all right, I got to move that over. If I click that, I would see my most recent documents and files here. I can then choose to open folder, which would automatically open my File Explorer, or I can click view online, which would automatically open my OneDrive on the web version. So I'll show you that. If I click view online, automatically opens my OneDrive on the web version. And if I click the blue cloud and click open folder, automatically opens my File Explorer. So another easy way to access your files. Any other questions? Hope everyone's having a great summer. But again, I'll hang out here if any other questions come up. It's 12:58, so I'm so excited that we stayed on time today. I will hang here. If you're good, thank you again for joining. Look out for our next session next month. August 28th will be the next one. And keep spreading the word because I see a lot more people joining these every month, and I'm loving that. So thank you for the support, and always reach out to me if you need any help. Otherwise, have a great afternoon and enjoy your summer.